Well, hello everyone. It's great to be back on Your TV as I get a chance to provide an update for the city of Belleville as we deal with these times of COVID-19. This is for the week of January the 11th, and I want to start off by saying a very big thank you to Your TV for giving us this opportunity to share some information as we deal with these super unusual times. I am today on the fourth floor of Belleville City Hall, just outside of my office here, and I'm in a new conference room that we have built in the last couple of years. We found ourselves really short in meeting space, particularly smaller group meeting space. So we had some an unused area of the mayor's office, and we converted into a conference room. The reason why this conference room is very unique is that when Belleville City Hall was first constructed in the early 1870s and then renovated in the 1980s, there were no rooms named after women. They were all named after men who had helped to design and build and have some administration in the city, including former Prime Minister Sir Mackenzie Bowell. So when we constructed this room, we made the decision to name it after Debbie Parks. Debbie Parks was a 45-year employee of the city of Belleville. She started with us immediately out of high school and had a long and distinguished career, finishing off as the executive assistant to the chief administrative officer. And we gave her the honor of naming this room after her, and it's great to be able to show you it. Also, in the back wall, if you can see over my shoulder, that is the coat of arms of the city of Belleville that was donated to the mayor at the time by the Kiwanis Club of Belleville. And that used to hang in the mayor's office. If those of you who remember some videos that we've done previous to this one from my office will know that there is a beautiful picture of Belleville City Hall at sunrise that Mark Hopper put. And so to make room for that picture of Mark Hopper, we moved this one into here. And it's a great part of the history of the city of Belleville. And I hope that you enjoy seeing it, at least as much as I enjoy showing it to you. Well, Hastings and Prince Edward Health here in our unit, this week we started off with great news that we had 0 new cases and 27 active cases. So there will be more information coming out. Obviously, we will have some cases as we go forward, dealing with what's going on in Ontario. And we will also see, at the time that I'm taping this video, we don't know what the provincial government will be announcing. We understand that there'll be additional restrictions and more shutdown information, and we will see how it goes. Right now, we're dealing with the timeline following New Year's Eve. So last week and the week before, it was the Christmas holiday, and now we're dealing with New Year's Eve, where people did travel. Unfortunately, they did spread the COVID virus, and we are seeing those numbers. As I said, the provincial government will announce some measures later this morning or today, and we just hope that they can respect our performance as a region. We understand this is a very serious matter. We understand that we have to be careful, but we also hope they understand that we have worked really hard over the past 10 months to keep the COVID spread numbers low, and that we deserve some consideration for that. So again, we hope that they respect us. Another reminder, I know you're probably getting tired of me saying this. I'm getting tired of saying it, but the things that we have to continue to do is to wash our hands frequently, to wear a mask when we cannot social distance, and to wear a mask when we are indoors, and also to reduce our non-essential travel, particularly to these areas that are called hotspots. Again, we've done so well, and I'm feeling good about our future. Once the vaccine will be announced, we will be having it distributed here in Belleville. We're just waiting for the news about when that will occur. And then we are looking forward to later this spring in April, when there will be what they call phase 2, the mass vaccine phase for the bulk of the population. This week, we did have a Belleville City Council meeting, and for those of you who are looking for a quick catch-up on it, I can tell you that we dealt with a number of matters, business of the City of Belleville, including changes to an interim development charge bylaw. So development charges are ways for the city to recoup the costs of growth related activities. So for example, every time we build a new home or build a new residence, the city has to grow in its footprint. That means we have to run more services, water, sanitary, roads. Our population grows, which puts pressure on all of our other infrastructure, including existing roads and intersections and city services. And so development charges are a way for us to recoup some of those costs when people buy new homes. And we assess those on the construction of a new home. That is not the only thing that pays for growth. We also pay through our taxes for future improvements that come from growth. But it's really important that we have a good balance between the new people that move to our community and help to grow it, with people who pay for services through their taxes. So one of the items that we really have to address with development charge study right now is the increased cost of sanitary services. So there are going to be substantial increases in terms of parts of the city where we are building new homes and the cost to have the sanitary system extended in those areas. And the reason why I point this out is because it's really important, as I said earlier, to find that balance. If we don't recoup more costs from the development charges for this project, that means existing users would have to pay for that through their water and their sanitary charges. And so, again, we do have an aging system, and so people who use it have to pay for it. We can't put taxes towards our sanitary system because not everybody in the city of Belleville has water or wastewater, so user fees cover it. But at the same time, a lot of the pressure that's coming is from new development. So you can see the balance that Belleville City Council has to really walk, that fine line between how do we ensure that the expansion and the growth of the system is paid for, the growth that's occurring, particularly through new development. But at the same time, we don't overload taxpayers and have them pay for it all, because then it becomes very, very difficult. So what we did is we took a step back and we brought in about a 6 to 8 month interim bylaw that will allow us to continue to have discussions with the Quinte Home Builders Association. We took the step of having a short-term 10% increase immediately right now so that we can deal with some recouping of our costs. That sanitary system that predominantly is in what we call the Loyola Secondary Plan. So on the west end of the city, from Bell Boulevard to the north, all the way down to Dundas Street on the south, that area is really going to drive some significant costs. So we're working with our builders and developers collaboratively. And yesterday we took that initial step. We hope to have that document come back in the fall. And as I said earlier, this is not something that we do every year because it is such a time-consuming and costly endeavor. So a lot of things have changed in Belleville in the last 5 years, and in 5 years down the road, they will be significantly different. But we appreciate working with our partners, and we recognize that, home builders and the people who work in that sector, probably one of the largest group of employees. The Construction Association is the largest employer in the country. They are very important to us, not just for the jobs they provide and the new homes they do, but also for the new homes that pay taxes to help us cover all the costs of our services. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on that. In other business, we did a number of planning approvals. We received about $33,000 from the provincial government to help cover with transit vehicle cleaning during these COVID-19 times. We also bought a new snowplow, and it blows me away sometimes how expensive this equipment is. $317,000 for one new truck to be able to be a snowplow. But as you know, we have a number of them in our fleet, and we have to upgrade them and replace them regularly. We signed a new physician through our doctor recruitment physician program, Dr. Kirsten Colbran. She has signed, and she's going to be coming to Belleville, and we expect her to open her practice in 2022. She's here now doing her residency and has already had a chance to see our community, loves it, and wants to stay here. So that's some great news. We also reduced the activation temperatures for the overnight warming center. This is the third year that our council has brought forth an overnight warming center, so that in the heart of the winter, when the coldest nights of the year are upon us, it doesn't matter why people choose to be outside. We do have emergency services or emergency housing that we work with Hastings County on, but some people don't choose to use it. And on these super cold nights of the year, we want to make sure that we have a place for them to go. No stigma associated, just get them out of the cold. And previously, the temperature thresholds had been minus 15 degrees Celsius and minus 20 degrees with the wind chill. We reduced that by 5 degrees in both cases, so the temperature will now be minus 10 degrees Celsius to activate the warming center, or minus 15 with the wind chill. And that's an important service that we want to provide our vulnerable sector. Thank you to everybody who has encouraged us to keep doing it. One of the big changes this year, which I'm really, really proud about, is that Hastings County has helped us with some funding for that facility this year. And more importantly, the health unit and Hastings County and Grace Inn Shelter are providing resources on site, so that it's not just somewhere that someone can go for that night. We can make them aware of the programs and the supports that exist in our community to try to help them with a permanent solution to their situation. These folks have a number of different issues. Some of them may have just had some bad luck in their life. Some of them are dealing with real mental health challenges, and we're a kind and compassionate community, and we're glad to be able to provide that service. And I know that City Council is really proud of what we've done on that, and that has been very good. The last item in terms of an update from this week's City Council meeting was the fact that we continue to plan ahead, even though we don't know what's going to come ahead of us with COVID-19. And so at this week's council meeting, we exercised what's called a Delegation of Authority bylaw, where we provided some authority to our senior city staff. So, specifically Chief Administrative Officer Rod Bove and Director of Finance Carol Hines, that for some reason, if City Council could not exercise our responsibilities, that they're able to do so in the interim. And what I mean by that is, we don't know what will come down the road, but we do know that people require the City of Belleville to continue to operate. So if for some reason members of council were ill and not able to attend a meeting where we couldn't get quorum, we still have to take care of our residents to keep them safe and protected and provide those services. So that Delegation of Authority bylaw yesterday is for a worst case scenario, and it was in place. Staff will report back to us at every meeting until we rescind that bylaw about what steps they took. But I want residents to know that we are planning for all the different possibilities that might come forward with COVID, including a worst case scenario. But on the positive side, we're also planning for a resumption of all of our services, because we do know that this will pass. And depending on what the province decides in terms of timelines, we are looking at reactivating the Quinte Sports and Wellness Center, reopening the Belleville Public Library, reopening Belleville City Hall, planning for the summer and our outdoor activities, recreation programs, all of our construction projects, making sure that our water and our wastewater will continue to be processed, ensuring that our safety services such as police and fire and ambulance and everything that we do, traffic control, all of that will continue going forward, and we're just being very, very cautious. And the last thing I want to talk about, just about some good news, is our American Hockey League team, the Belleville Senators. You may be aware that the National Hockey League has been given approval by all the provinces in Canada where they have NHL teams to resume play with a Canadian division. So they won't be traveling back and forth across the US border, but they can travel within Canada with protocols to ensure safety and responsibility. We have an American Hockey League team, and we also are looking at a resumption of play for them. We don't know if they'll be permitted to play in their home cities, like here in Belleville at the CA Arena, or if they will be required to stay with their NHL parent club. So in our case, it would be at the Canadian Tire Centre in Ottawa. But we did send a letter of support for the Belleville Senators to the provincial minister to tell them that we have a wonderful facility that can be completely sealed off and separated for the Belleville Senators should they be given permission to resume play here. We do know that there is an allowance for professional athletes to continue to practice during COVID-19 times. The province of Ontario has not allowed a resumption of play for the American Hockey League teams. they have for the NHL, and that will start later this week. But I just wanted to give you an update that behind the scenes, we continue to work to support our professional hockey team, and we all are looking forward to them getting back on the ice and providing us with much entertainment. So that is an update for this week, the week of January the 11th. Again, I want to thank you for listening. If you have any questions or comments, you can contact myself or any member of City Council. I ask you to stay safe. I ask you to respect all the rules that the province is bringing in, and I ask you to keep off the ice, please. Over this last weekend, we had a very unfortunate fatality of one of our residents. The ice is unsafe. There are currents. There's different temperature in it. There's different thickness. And there is no reason that we have to lose anyone's life by going on the ice. We will tell you when it is safe to skate and to fish and to do other activities on the ice. We just ask you, I beg you, matter of fact, to please be careful. And no one's life is worth any reason that we have to go on the ice. With that, I thank you very much for your time and attention. I look forward to providing another update next week as we deal with this COVID-19 pandemic here in the city of Belleville. Thank you.